Welcome to episode 9 of Kettlebell Sport Science. Today we're going to be looking at grip training for kettlebell sport. Now I'm sure we've all kind of been in this similar situation. We're doing a snatch set, we're doing really well, we're doing a lot of reps, but what happens? Our grip gives out. Now, more often than not, the grip is the thing that is the first thing to go when performing a set of snatches. It's our rate limiting factor in doing more reps. This tends to be the fact that we can't hold on to the damn bell any much longer. So in this episode, I'll be reviewing a bunch of different exercises and tools that you can use in order to strengthen your grip, be looking at different drills that you can do to help improve the endurance of the grip, and also going over a couple of key points on holding on to the actual kettlebell handle in order to save the grip. There we go. So I'm sure everybody's heard of grippers and other implements that we can use to help strengthen our grip. So right now I'm going to be showing you a couple of tools that I tend to use in my own training. And disclaimer, I have no affiliation with any one of these companies. I just like their products. So first we have our grippers from Iron Mind. Adjustable gripper from David Horn, another spring. Attachments to go with the David Horn gripper so we can actually train our pinch a little bit more. The 2x4, the Iron Mind Rolling Thunder, the loading pin to go with these last two, fat grips, the really fat grips, this homemade grip that I made a while ago where I just took a piece of PVC pipe and wrapped it around in a lot of duct tape. Elastic bands. Pro tip, you ever buy a bunch of asparagus or broccoli at the supermarket? Yeah. Some more rock climbing specific things. What are these? Basically, you hang these on a bar and you can do pull-ups with them. Really handy. Another similar implement. Put on a pull-up bar and you just hold on to these with your fingers. And if you're a wacko like me, you can do some other cool things with bending horseshoes, bending nails. It's actually really fun. So you can see that there are many different tools and things that one can use to help strengthen their grip. I tend to use these a lot myself just because I like training grip personally. But in my opinion, I think that the thing that matters the most with regards to snatches in particular is working on something like a thick bar training. So in my opinion, again, I think the thing that you get the most value from is working with things like the fat grips, for instance, and making the actual handle thicker. So now, instead of it being a fairly thin bar that you're holding on to, you're making it bigger by using one with making it into a 2-inch diameter, for instance, or I don't know, 2.5-inch one. This one, yeah, 2.5-inch diameter. So what this does, it makes it so that you can't cheat in the way that, if you wrap your fingers around the bar, you're pinching down on the actual finger to help increase the amount of friction here so they don't have to use as much forearm muscles. But a little bit hard to do with a thicker handle. So doing things like deadlifts and rows, for instance, where you're actually attaching these to a barbell or dumbbells and holding onto them and doing the exercises with this is a great way to help train that grip. Along the same lines, you can actually use the Rolling Thunder. So this has a revolving handle actually. So you can actually load a bunch of weight on the loading pin here, attach it there, and do deadlifts with this, for instance. And that's a great way of going about doing it. If you have a couple of platforms you can stand on, you can actually do some more arm swings with something like this as well. Another good thing that I think would be worth mentioning is working on the finger strength as well, because as much as we want to keep proper positioning on the kettlebell handle, there's going to be a part where you might not hold on to it, and you're going to be holding onto the handle kind of in this position. So in that case, working on something like this, where you're actually holding on to just that, is another great way to train that grip in that particular position. Or even these guys for that matter, in doing rows or pull-ups with this, or hangs for time. So now we're going to kind of demo some stuff and show you how we can use these tools to train grip. So what you can do is actually attach your fat grips to a pull-up bar and hold on to them either for time, or you can actually do a set of pull-ups here. Oh my God. Or you can hold on to the really thick orange ones. Or you can hold on to these. Or you can hold on to these. You can also do heavy suitcase carries. You can deadlift with the fat grips. Or you can also do, if you can't hold on to them for too long, you can actually set them up against a pull-up bar, against a rope, or your makeshift pulley system here. Hold on to them and just do rows. You can do rows for time. You can add a little bit of speed to it so you get some of that little impulse. Go down to 3 fingers. You can go for two fingers, or even 1 finger. Now, another actually interesting training modality that you can use is, since we know what we're trying to accomplish with a snatch, and we're doing, let's say, 12 RPM, for instance, and you're going to do 5 minutes a side, what you can actually do is kind of mimic that same structure with these types of exercises. So, say for instance, I want to go at 12 RPM, and I want to mimic a set like that. What I can do is actually do a set of pulls at 12 RPM and see if we can actually get to a full 5 minutes, for instance. So, hold on here. 1, 2, 3, 4. You get the gist. You get the gist. So a way that we can use some of these type of implements to help increase grip endurance is if we're hooking these things up to a pull-up bar and we just do dead hangs. So let's say, for instance, my max holding on to the oranges is about 1 minute. So now what I want to do, if I know that's what my max is, I'll do sets of, let's say, 45 seconds. And we'll do that until I can't do 45 seconds anymore. And then I'll do sets of 30 seconds until I can't do that anymore. Then, you know what, my grip training for the day is done. So another great drill that lots of people tend to do actually is essentially just a swing snatch. So if snatch is our main thing that we're working on, by adding in an extra swing in between every snatch, we actually help to, we're actually working on grip a little bit more. So for instance, we do swing, snatch, swing, snatch. So this is a great complex to still train snatch, but adding in a little bit more of a grip element to it. So doing a one-arm swing is also another really great exercise just to help really tax the grip. So one-arm swing with the pro-grade kettlebells, or my preference, if you have some of these iron kettlebells at home, they tend to have a thicker handle. So for grip training and for swings, I tend to actually like using these kettlebells a lot better. So I don't know about you, but I have larger hands too, so especially if I'm doing a two-hand swing, they tend to get fairly crunched up in here. So I very much like using these big iron kettlebells for swings typically. What I'd like to talk about now is the actual gripping motion on the actual kettlebell to make sure that we're not using more energy than we need when we're actually doing snatches. So it goes without saying that you're going to be using chalk when we're doing a set of snatches. Now with that being said, ideally anyways, when we're holding on to the kettlebell and we're swinging up and down, we want to have our index finger closest to the curvature right here on the edge of the kettlebell. So once we're here, as the bell is weightless and you hook onto it, we're gonna have kind of that OK sign. So at the bottom of the snatch, it's gonna look something like this, where you actually have, again, you're gonna be chalking the full finger here all the way around the creases of your fingers, in between your fingers as well, so that as you're hooking onto the kettlebell, you get something like this motion, and then it kind of locks in place, so to speak. So of course the other fingers are going to be coming in here, but mainly we're going to have this here to help holding on to the kettlebell. This is going to be the main factor here. Another thing, this goes without saying, you don't want to put a death grip on the kettlebell when you're in competition, okay? So you don't want to squeeze so hard that you're going to be losing strength and losing endurance and burning through all your muscle glycogen in a period of a couple minutes. What you want to do is hold on only as tight as you need to in order to successfully perform the lift. Now this takes a lot of getting used to. There's a really fine balance between gripping too much and gripping not enough. If you grip too much, you get too tired, then you lose control of the kettlebell and it flies out in front of you. If you don't grip enough, you lose control of the kettlebell and it flies out in front of you. So you really want to have that nice middle point right here, and that is the best way that I know about going about doing it. Go about doing it. Best way to go about, the best way I know how to do it. Yeah, let's just go with that. Now, since I am a healthcare professional, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about stuff of hand health also in this particular episode. So here are a couple of quick hand tips or grip tips to help keep it so that you have a healthy grip and you're not giving yourself a lot of damage. Some active recovery tools that you can actually use are, let's say for instance, there's a couple of golf balls and actually doing something like this. So this is actually a good way of just working dexterity of your fingers, but you're also working out the forearm muscles here a little bit to help with active recovery. Another thing you can use is a rice bucket, where you actually have a bucket of rice. Just go to Walmart, buy the cheapest rice you can find, fill up the rice bucket and just dip your hand in it and just move your fingers all around, open, close, do a wave motion, do only the thumb. I don't have that here to demo because I didn't bring bucket of rice into my facility over here. Another thing you can use is just take the elastics from your asparagus and put it around your fingers and open your hand. Now this is another great tool to help work the forearm extensors, because oftentimes most of the things that we tend to do are flexion type of exercises where we're closing the fingers or curling the wrist this way, but we still want to work the extensors. And of course, since I am a manual therapist, going to see somebody like myself to actually get them to work on the actual muscles will help with good recovery of the muscles and make sure that they're in good shape. So, a bit of a different approach today, this particular Kettlebell Sports Science episode. If you liked it, let me know. If you didn't like it, let me know. Once again, my name is Dr. Eric St-Onge, episode 9 of Kettlebell Sports Science. Until next time, we'll see ya. I'm hungry.